Good afternoon, folks. I'd first like to welcome everyone and thank everyone for coming to Claire's memorial. She was a dear friend to a lot of us, greatly missed by all of us, not just her family, but a lot of people. And you showing up here today shows that. I want to first start by something that I wrote right after Claire died, and then we're going to open it up for comments, and anybody wants to say anything, please feel free, but please come up so we can get it on microphone so we can have a memorial for this too. Get up, let's go. We've got work to do. If we've heard this once, we have heard this 1,000 times from Claire. And Claire probably said it over 1,000,000 times to herself. It did not matter if she was working out in the gym, hiking to the L, or working in the ER. Claire was always making us get up and get things done. She pushed us, always. She wanted us to work up to our potential, always. Claire did everything with immense passion. She gave everything 100%. She worked hard, she played hard, and she loved deeply. Most of all, she loved her boys. Every night at work, she would take 5 minutes to talk to Kyler and Kaysen, to hear about their day, to tell them that she loved them, and to tell them good night. Many times at work, she would tell us stories about the boys. They were the love of her life. We never think about today being our last. If we did, our day would most certainly look a lot different. We take life for granted, and maybe we even take each other for granted. If Claire was here today, she would probably teach us to slow down, tell your family and your friends that you love them. We spend so much time and energy trying to understand what happened, why it happened, and what we could have done to change it. But maybe all we can do is to learn from the lesson. Claire's last lesson to us is unfortunately through grief, as grief changes us. The pain sculpts us into someone who understands more deeply, hurts more often, appreciates more quickly, cries more easily, hopes more desperately, and loves more openly. So with respect to Claire, we must say goodbye. We pray that you will look over us, that you will help guide us through the hard times, that you will redirect our paths when we head the wrong way, but most of all, that you will continue to live through us and help us to share and celebrate our lives with love, with hope, and grace. May God hold you in the palm of your hand until we meet again.
Will you read this that Wendy wrote?
Oh, okay. I didn't bring my glasses, so you will have to probably put up with me. Oh, Claire, you were this shy little girl growing up as my very cute niece. As I watched you mature, you then babysat my little ones. As they were growing up, you would become this incredible mom, stern and loving, and a great nurse, and I got to experience that firsthand. When I landed in the ER with my broken ankle and leg, you were awesome and in charge, and I will never forget the words you said to me when you got me that warm blanket, that I was looking a little shocky. You knew that every word, but I knew that I was in good hands with you by my side. You will be forever my niece, never forgotten, loved by so many.
As everybody knows, I'm not the one.
It's on. It's on.
It's on?
This is just for the tape.
Oh. Well, I'm not one to public speak, but for this girl, I will. I'd never imagined myself living in Lakeview, first of all. grew up in Roseburg. And anyways, long story short, I ended up in Lakeview. Last place I thought I'd end up. But you know what? The first girl to greet me was Claire. She welcomed me to her home. She came to see me when Ryan and I lived in Mount Angel. This was the first girl to try to get me to come to Lakeview. She said, come on, it'll be fine. It's a great place. I'm like, no, Ryan, we cannot go to Lakeview. No, we're not going to Lakeview. But we did it, and here we are. We spent many nights. She helped raise my kids. I had a really good story when I came up here. Now it's gone. It's gone. It's all gone now. It's gone. She was the best thing that happened to me when I moved here. I seriously couldn't have moved here without her. I really couldn't have. Like, I seriously could not imagine moving here. And I was like, Ryan, are you serious? We're moving there? He said, yep. We both got jobs, but yeah, I lost my whole story, so there you have it. So, love you, Claire. You were a sister to me and my kids. Love you. Miss you.
I'm scared to say anything because I'm gonna cry. Claire she came knocking on my door one day and dragged me to Kendra's house, and the rest is history. Like, her and Rachel and I were best friends for so long. She got me my husband.
Okay, you can't blame it all on her.
She was my maid of honor. She gave my daughter her first bath when she was born.
You raised our kids before you were.
Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
kids were.
She taught me how to be a mom. She did, because Kyler and Kason, they were my little buddies, and she was my best friend, and I miss her and I love her. We did it, you do it.
I'm not going to promise that it's not going to be a train wreck. But all of what they said, plus one of my favorite things about Claire is she'd come to my house most mornings for coffee. I always knew to have it on because she would just show up at random times, and I was in trouble if I didn't. And she'd always tell me these stories of adventures from her weekend. And what I loved was it was always a new group or a new friend or someone else that loved her. And that was my favorite thing about her. She just brought people together. And it's pretty amazing because not everyone can be like that. And I guess I'm just really thankful that I got to be just a small part of that journey with her. And like they said, she helped me raise my kids. I mean, when you call as a mom and you're freaking out, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I can't do this. I'm out. I'm done. She's like, no, you're not. I'll be to your house in 15 minutes. You got this. And she made me stronger. So we'll figure it out, but she's dearly missed. So
I met Claire almost 11 years ago working at the hospital. And one of the things that I loved about her is how she brought so many people together. She had such a big heart. Every day that I would come in and she was there, I would literally jump for joy because it didn't get any better than that. Working with her and being her friend always came so natural to her. When it was Tuesday nights, it was me, Claire, and Spencer Clark, and we were the dream team. And then from there, it went to Lisa, and we were the crazy team. She had the ability to be so caring and bring everybody so much joy. I miss so much about her. I miss wine and ale mornings with her. I miss working with her. I miss hiking with her. I've never met anybody so loving towards the outdoors. And like Kendra said, she loved all different kinds of people, everybody. She made friends everywhere she went. She didn't know a stranger. And she is dearly missed and loved.
So this is Macy, and she wants to tell you about the cookies that she made for Claire. No. So one of the famous nights was that Claire showed up at Meg's house, and I'm not sure if I'm telling this correctly, but Claire just randomly popped in, and like she always does, and Macy and the kids made cookies for her. Macy, were they burnt? Were they burnt? No, they weren't burnt. Sorry, they weren't burnt, but they were burnt. And she ate them like crazy. And Macy sits there like, I gave her cookies. Let's tell them about the cookies. And you know what? Just like the girl said before, she helps raise those children. She helps us be better moms. And that'll continue. That's not a lost art. She's always there. One of my favorite memories is Mr. Kyler over there. Yeah. Hi, my son. He would always show up at our house and be at like 7 a.m. just on our couch. And I think that was when I just fell in love. Just thank you so much, Darren, for having such an amazing voice. Kaysen would come over and be so quiet. And I just love how Kaysen has just blossomed. And he, shortly after Mom passed away, you guys were over and it was amazing. And it was just like we never skipped a beat. And I love you boys for that. And you guys are just perfect. Do you want to say anything, Sissy? No? Okay. Well, we miss you, Claire. And those boys will represent, and Mel and Darren are raising the most perfect family, and I cannot thank you guys enough to continue that.
I met Claire through nursing school, actually. I came out here and decided we got to pick a floor to work on, and I was like, I don't want to work on a floor. I want to work every area of the hospital. And I chose Lakeview. And I think I met not only the family that I have now, but Claire. And I remember she came to Klamath one time, and I was just struggling. Nursing school sucks. If anyone wants to try it, it sucks. And she showed up, and I had this big test, and she was like, hey, we're going to go take shots. And I'm like, no, I got to pass this test. And she was like, no, we're going to take shots. And that was the first test that I got 100% because I was like, shots, okay, that's what we're going to do. And I was terrified. I'm not good at exams. That's why the shots work. I showed up to take my NCLEX, and I remember I failed it the first time, and I felt like a failure when I did that. And I called her, and she was like, shut up, you're fine. We're going to do this again. I'm like, okay. She passed before I took it again, and I did. I woke up, I had that test at 8 in the morning, and I took a shot at 7:30. I was like, we're going to do this. And I passed it in the minimum amount of questions, and I just knew at that moment that girl, she was with me the whole time. I was terrified of some things, and she pushed me through. I think the first stomach pump I ever did was with you guys. And I was terrified, and she came in and was like, we're going to do this. Let's go. And just like brought me into so many things. And I have 6 siblings. I've lost one. And none of those 6 siblings were there more for me than that woman was, whether it was 1 in the morning, whether it was midnight, 2 in the morning, you name it, she would call me and make sure that I was okay. And nothing's the same without her, but I'm happy for the friends that I made that check on me every day. Because of it, I love you guys.
So I guess the big question is, how do we go on? And that will be the difficult part. Claire led me to this poem the other day, and I will try to get through it. Not sure I can, but I will try. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and to men who want to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother and sister walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give to them what you need to give to me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known and loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least live on in their eyes and not in their mind. You can love me most by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die. People do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. So with that, we thank you. Please enjoy stories about Claire with each other. Enjoy the night. Please be safe.
Thank you, Lisa.
Tell me, what does it look like in heaven? Is it peaceful? Is it free like they say? Does the sun shine bright forever? Have your fears and your pain gone away? 'Cause here on earth it feels like everything good is missing since you left. And here on earth everything's different. There's an emptiness. Oh, I hope you're dancing in the sky, and I hope you're singing in the angels' choir, and I hope the angels know what they have. I bet it's so nice up in heaven since you arrived. So tell me, what do you do up in heaven? Are your days filled with love and light? Is there music? Is there art and invention? Tell me, are you happy? Are you more